Hey everyone, this is Jake Wynn, public historian. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're heading into the camps around Washington, D.C. during the first Civil War Thanksgiving in 1861. The story I'm going to share is one of the favorites that I have come across during my research into the 96th Pennsylvania Volunteer Infantry, a unit made up of many soldiers from Pennsylvania's anthracite coal fields. I'm impartial to this story because it's a pretty funny one, along with the fact that it's all about Thanksgiving, which has always been one of my favorite holidays. If you want more stories like this, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. I'm excited to be adding more content here. So let's head out to the fields and forests around the Union Capitol in the chilly days of November 1861. Throughout the encampments built along the ridge tops and tucked into the swales around Washington, Union soldiers sat down to improvised Thanksgiving feasts. For days leading up to November 28, 1861, they eagerly crowded around the mail depots and jammed the express offices in the Capitol. Thanksgiving wasn't yet a national holiday, but it was commemorated across many northern states. For soldiers in the first autumn of the Civil War, it offered a moment to pause and reflect on months of chaos and uncertainty. 2 years later, in 1863, President Abraham Lincoln would make it a national holiday. By November 1861, nearly every train rolling into Washington was overloaded with packages. Boxes filled with clothing, comforts from home, and especially food. Families across the North shipped off everything from winter socks to homemade pies, hoping their loved ones might taste a little bit of home. In the encampment of the 96th Pennsylvania, then called Camp Pottsville, the regiment's adjutant, Matthias Edgar Richards, waited anxiously for a Thanksgiving box of his own. He rode home to the Keystone State on November 21st, sounding a little uncertain. He wrote, "It looks a little dubious whether we will have the pleasure of putting that turkey upon our mahogany on Thanksgiving Day." His doubts came from what he witnessed at the Adams Express office in the nation's capital. He wrote, "You almost have to fight, they say, before you can get your packages. No matter. If we have not the turkey, we will make believe we are eating turkey." Thanksgiving Day came and went. The turkey did not. And it wasn't a cheerful holiday in the camp of the 96th. A corporal in Company G noted simply about the day, quote, "It rained a little bit about noon." In Company B, Captain Peter Filbert got into a quarrel with the officer of the day, and another officer threatened to court-martial anyone who crossed him. The next morning, the regiment packed up and moved to a new campground near 4 Mile Run outside Alexandria, Virginia. They named it Camp Franklin. Yet, there was still no turkey. Richards decided to, quote, "adjourn Thanksgiving dinner until the turkey comes." Days passed, then weeks. On December 10th, more than 2 weeks after Thanksgiving, he rode home again. "I have not yet received that box." By now, the turkey had become less a meal and more a running joke. Richards even teased, "Nobody will burst a blood vessel in the attempt to carve it." Washington by this point was drowning in packages. With nearly 100,000 Union soldiers in and around the city, Richards described the scene. "The fact is, there is such a rush of trunks, boxes, and bundles that all the warehouses of the express company are overcrowded and piled upon each other to such an extent that it is difficult to pick out anything." While waiting, Richards kept busy, filling out daily medical reports, recording roll calls, and overseeing drills as the regiment's training intensified. Then, on December 11th, more than 3 weeks late, that package finally arrived. Inside was, well, everything he expected, except the turkey, which had become thoroughly moldy. Richards wrote home, "Everything was in good condition, except the turkey, which had become moldy." And then comes the moment that entered regimental legend. Richards gave the ruined turkey to an English immigrant in one of the companies. He described him as someone, quote, "who seems always hungry," unquote, and as Richards put it, he actually ate the whole turkey, mold and all, clean. The mold was pretty thick in some places too. That man survived, happily. He even joked, quote, "It was the best meal since I crossed the Atlantic." And apparently this was not the first culinary feat from this soldier. Richards also added in, "We sent the same man last week with the bread wagon, and between here and Alexandria, about 3.5 miles, he ate 9 loaves of bread before they stopped him. Small children are not safe in his neighborhood." The saga of the missing turkey became a favorite story in the regiment in the first year of the war. The 96th Pennsylvania would spend the winter of 1861 to 1862 training in the mud and the rain and the snow as they prepared to face the Confederate foe. You can read more about the 96th Pennsylvania over at winninghistory.com, and I'll be sharing more stories like this here on YouTube. If you enjoyed this story and you want more stories from Pennsylvania's coal region, told through the voices and the letters of the people who lived it, hit that subscribe button. Give this video a like and stick around for more videos like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all again soon.